I usually have one or two conversations a day, and they start off like this: Is that kid really worth $1 million? Or, man, I think he got underpaid, bro. Like I think he was underpaid, and I'm like, I would sit there and I would hear them on either side. My question would be, compared to what? Like that's compared to what? Like you're saying he's underpaid, or you're saying he's not worth $1 million. Like compared to what? And that's where this space has gotten so far off the track because there are what, four power conferences. Each conference is averaging about 16 different teams. They're all covering on average at least five different states, right? There's no way you can tell me that what this school decided to compensate an athlete should be the exact same what this school decided to compensate an athlete. Because for one, the budgets are different. Yes, everyone has the settlement rules of 22%, but everybody didn't make the same amount of money though. Everybody's market ain't the same either. Everybody is every school isn't a college town. So so when you say, "Oh, this kid is not worth $1 million," or "This kid is underpaid," I'm going to ask, compared to what? Compared to who? Because if school A offered you 2 million, school B offered you 700,000, you're looking at dollars and cents. But the situation is, what are they trying to solve? Is this a rebuild year? Are you a championship piece? Are you a depth filler? Are you replacing somebody? Like those are like questions that need to go into the process because it's not just 2 million and then 700,000. That's like those are fickle conversations because who you are to this enterprise is not the same as what you are to this enterprise. And oftentimes, when I sit across from an athlete who's on the journey to get into the space or they're already in it, they're also pocket watching and saying, well, my teammate made XYZ, or my teammate got this, or he's upset with me because I told him what I was getting. I'm just saying to myself, you cannot look at what this person is making and what this person is making. Yeah, they're on the same team, but they came in for two different reasons. And it doesn't value you less, and it doesn't value you more. It's more, what was the situation in that moment when I was introduced to you? And I think that's a hard thing to swallow because it's like, what's left in the budget? Like if you came in on I'm on the back end, there's probably not a lot of money left. If you came in on the front end, meaning you made a decision fast enough to get in early. The early bird gets the worm, right? And I was talking to a couple of my NFL guys, and they'll say the first week of free agency, you're gonna always get the premium, and you're gonna always pay more. The back end of the free agency, you're gonna get what you get, and I think that's logical. That is economics 101, like supply and demand. Like if the demand is high, you you for sure gonna get compensated well. If you just you know we need to fill a roster spot, but then there's some who fall into the anomaly space where you're on the back end and there was a huge on demand for you, but it was a huge demand for you at that team, not the market. That team really needed this position, and you happen to become available and you are talented. They're going to go and find the money and the compensation and the contract structure to pay you the top dollar because on their end there was a huge demand and no supply for that specific team though. But the outside world will see, man, he got in the portal late or he was signed late. Man, he ain't worth that much money. Maybe not if it was in the traditional like in the market where it was natural and regular, but You don't understand the circumstances of he popped up when they really needed it. Somebody just went down. They really needed somebody just left. Hey, at this time, it's like the value that they put on you may be way higher than the market actually valued you that. But to them, whatever it costs, you was about to get got, right? And not in a bad way. Like they were about to come get you by any means. But that doesn't mean that's your value. And I think like a lot of times you hear people say, well, once he get paid this, then that's his market value. That's not his market value. That's that ecosystem value. That's that enterprise value there because I mean, what they paid you at the time they paid you in the situation that they paid you in the mindset that they had to pay you, they wasn't looking at what the market was. They was trying to say, okay, we gotta fill this spot right now by any means, and we're gonna offer this. That's not your market value. So when I sit with an athlete or I sit with an agent, I talk to them. I'm saying you gotta think about where you're bringing and where you're going. Like you're bringing the athlete to these teams. Each team situation is different, and I think a lot of the agents often ask me, um, "Who's the highest paid in this position?" And I'm looking at them like that has nothing to do with nothing right now. Like I have zero idea what what does that mean? Or you want him to be paid the same as these guys? Okay, so was he here for 2 years? Was there a retention value or just an acquisition? Uh, were was he here when they was making the new budget? Did he calculate? Like you're asking what were these 2 year and 3 year guys who've been with the team for these many years are getting paid, so that you can make a decision for your athlete who's coming in. That is not how this works. That is like so backwards. And they ask these things because it sounds good. It sounds like, oh, I'm in the league. I'm in the pros. You're not. That is not how this works. Like even talk about stats. It's so different to value an athlete with stats because they're not even playing the same competition. Now, if it's conference and conference, okay, maybe we can look at what you did in the conference like the ones who on our team. Okay, that's different. But if you're coming from a whole different conference, you're coming from a whole different part of the country. There's no way for you to think, well, he was he was all MAC, so him coming into the SEC, he should get paid because compared to the lowest per person in the SEC, he was an all MAC guy. The MAC? You mean like the MAC? No disrespect, but the the MAC and the SEC, bro. You already we can look at the games and tell the competition wasn't the same. Yet, as an agent, you're gonna say my client is worth this much because of what they did over here. It's kind of hard. Or you may say, hey, yo, this other school offered this much for him. Yeah, because to them they value this. This school don't value that. And when I sit across from the athletes and the parents and the agents, my questions and conversations with them have nothing to do with dollars and dollars. It's more so, where all have you been already? What all have you saw? What did they offer you? What did they bring to the table? Then, what do you think you bring to this table? Don't tell me what they told you. Tell me what you think you bring to the table, because that's going to determine are we on the same page or not. Dollars and dollars. Anybody can go dollar for dollar, but the value of the dollar changes based on the location, and that's the same thing in real estate. You can have a house that is valued this, and down the street is valued that, and this owner said, "I want to sell my house for this much," and they're gonna look at you and say, "Nah, that ain't what you about to get. You about to get this. Take it or leave it." Right? Well, we got the same kind of. Okay, well, somebody was willing to pay more for that because that was that buyer. Same comps, but that was that buyer. You're not that buyer, and you're not that seller. So we looking at like two different conversations that have nothing to do with the same. Just because you're in the same city, same neighborhood, same street, you may be valued and you may be the same position. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 4 bedrooms, three baths, 6'2", 195, 6'2", 195. But I want to pay X amount for this. They want to pay X amount for that. That's just the market. That's the market. Not the market that they make up when they say, well, such and such is offering me XYZ. But go over there. Because obviously that was a good number. If it's about the number. So when the agents sit across from you, start doing that little posturing thing where they start saying, well, such and such is offering this, go get it. If it's about the numbers, go get it. But if it's not about the numbers and it's about the whole package, let's talk the whole package. Don't try to go back and forth with the person across the table about things that it's not difficult if you say, I'm going to get more money over there and you want more money. Why are you going back and forth if you know that's a better financial deal? That's how I know. It's way more involved. So I ain't about to give you all the wins, right? You know how it goes. You say, look, if I give you the number, I get terms. If I'm getting terms, I give you your number. You ain't about to get all of it though. Like you sell a house, they say, look, when we buy the house, leave your furniture, leave your fridge, leave the washer and dryer, leave the beds, right? Paint the walls before we come, all right? And make sure that the grass is cut. I actually want a pine tree in the back. Can you put that in the back for me too? You're not getting that house. That's the same thing that's happening here. So I say all that to say, price and value aren't the same because price can change, value can change depending on who's buying and who's valuing. You can't say it's uniformity across the board, right? And that's where I think we get so lost in this space is that people think price and value are the exact same thing, and it's not, and never will be. Because the day that happens, oh, we torched as an economy because it doesn't make sense. Price and value will never be the